Hey guys, Jason Schnitzer here with O.C Realtor Talk, and what I've got for you today is we're going to talk a little bit about getting a loan and lending and whether or not you should pay to buy down your rate with buying a point. First of all, giving you a little bit of lending 101, when you're getting a loan, you're going to have to pick your interest rate or lock your interest rate in. You can do that at 0 points, which is not paying any extra money, or in some cases, paying a little extra money up front in order to buy your rate down for the long term over that 30-year note. So for example, 1 point equals 1% of the loan amount. And in this case, we're going to use $500,000 loan amount. And what you typically get, and this is not in all cases, depending on how your lender prices the loans, is when you pay for 1 point, you can get about 1/4% buy down in rate. So for our example, you're going from, let's say, a 3% rate at $500,000 to 2 3/4. So what does that equal to you dollars and cents wise? Well, at 3%, your principal and your interest for 3% on $500,000 is $2,108 versus the 2 3/4, which is $2,041. So what you want to do is you take the amount that you're going to have to initially invest, which is 1% of $500,000, or in other words, $5,000. You take the difference in savings, where in this case is $66. You divide 5,000 by 66. You take that number and you divide by 12, and what that'll do is give you how many years of making the new payment at the lower amount that it'll take to make back your initial investment. So that means if I paid 1 point, bought my interest rate down to 2 3/4 from 3%, it'll cost me $5,000, but save me $66 a month. Now, my break even on that $5,000 is 6.3 years. So things to decide for you guys is, how long is it going to take for me to make my money back? Because what happens is if you sell your house before 6.3 years, you don't get any of that upfront cost back when you go to sell. You lose that money. So that's something to consider. 2 is, how long are you going to live in that property? If you're going to own the property for 30 years, if you're going to own the property for 100 years, obviously that $5,000 up front is going to save you way more money in the long term. But that being said, it's pretty expensive to buy a house. Especially when you're talking in the $500,000 to $1 million price range. So an extra $5,000 goes a long way, especially when you're talking about maybe replacing floors, remodeling a bathroom. So you got to prioritize where you're going to need to spend your money after you move in. So how long are you going to be there? How short are you on funds? And every scenario is going to be different. Now, one last thing. You can do this inversely. So we talked about 0 points. We talked about 1 point. You could potentially take a higher interest rate. Let's say that you're stretched short on funds, and an extra $5,000 in your pocket might be pretty handy. Well, you can actually maybe take 3 1/8% interest rate, and the lender can give you a rebate credit towards your closing costs. So you could end up with a little bit of money in your pocket at the very end. So these are all really important decisions that you can consider, of course, with your situation, and a really good thing to talk through with your lender. But remember this equation so that you have some real good foundation to work with when making your decision. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you have any further questions with regarding to buying, selling, investing, etc., we're always here. We love to help. So feel free to book a free consultation online. Give us a call, send me a message, whatever you like. We'll be here. So thanks for watching, you guys. Catch you on the next one. Hey guys, thanks again for watching this week's episode of O.C Realtor Talk. If you gained any value from this video, we'd really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and followed us on all our social media platforms.
You know, Jason, I believe is really, really important for you, whether you're buying a house or selling a house, is understanding the process and knowing exactly what you're getting into. So if you ever have any questions, just follow the links below and